بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. How are you, my students? I hope that you're happy and healthy and ready for today's lesson, which is Unit 4, Speaking. But before we get to the speaking lesson, let's open our workbooks, page 110. Open your workbooks, page 110, and look at the pictures. You have 4 pictures there. Exercise G, write a sentence about each picture. Use either a gerund as the subject or the superlative plus the present perfect. So look at each picture and come up with a sentence. Write a sentence about each picture using the gerund as a subject or the superlative plus the present perfect. You can choose each. You can come up with any sentence you want as long as you write it correctly and using the gerund as the subject or the superlative plus the present perfect. So look at the first picture, picture number 1. Can you try and come up with a sentence using either gerunds as subjects or the superlative form of the verb and the present perfect? So for the first picture, I've written, "This is the most exciting tennis match I've ever seen." You can see some people watching a tennis match there. You can say, "This is the most exciting." So this is the superlative plus the present perfect. This is the most exciting, this is the superlative here, tennis match I've ever seen. So I've ever seen is the present perfect. Again, this is the most exciting tennis match I've ever seen. What about the second picture? Same thing. Try to come up with a sentence using gerunds as subjects or the superlative form plus the present perfect. So I came up with this sentence. "He's the best goalie we've had for years." He's the best goalie we've had for years. You can see the player. Or you can say he's the best player we've had for years. So he is the best, this is the superlative, goalie or player we've had for years. So this is the present perfect. What about picture number 3? Try to come up with the same thing using gerund or the superlative. For picture number 3, I said watching football at home can be really fun. So you can see the people watching a football match. They're sitting at home. You can say watching football match at home can be really fun. So watching here is the gerund as the subject. Watching football at home can be really fun. What about the last picture, number 4? I've written here, running is a great way to stay in shape. Running, a gerund here as a subject. Running is a great way to stay in shape. And you can come up, of course, with any sentence you want using the gerund or the superlative plus the present perfect. Continuing here with exercise H on the same page, 110. Complete the sentences with the words and phrases in the box. So you see the sentences here and they have gaps. We have to fill them using the words in the box. Down pat, got, knocked their socks off, psyched, and up for. Again, the words here, down pat, got, knocked their socks off, psyched, and up for. So let's read number 1 together and try to guess what's the correct answer here. My brother Tom is adventurous. He likes to try new things, even if the sport is dangerous or difficult. He is willing to do it. He is anything. So he likes to go to do extreme sports, dangerous sports. He is able to do anything. So he can do anything. So what do we say here? He's okay with doing anything, even if it's dangerous. Yes, that's correct. He's up for anything. He's up for anything. It means that he's ready to do anything, even if it's extremely dangerous. Number 2, His favorite football team is Manchester United. Next month, they're going to be playing in his city, and he has tickets. He is what? So, this is a boy. He's supporting Manchester United, and they will be playing in his city, and he has tickets. So, he'll be attending the game. So, of course, he will be very excited. So, he's what? That's correct. He is psyched. He is extremely excited. So why? Because his favorite team is coming to play in his town or in his city. Number 3, Jassim is a gymnast. He has been practicing his routine on the parallel bars for months. He usually practices 5 times a week. Next week, he has a gymnastics meet. He's not worried though, because he has his routine. Because he has his routine, what? He has a meeting. They will see how did he do. So he's not nervous. He's not worried. Why is that? Let's see the correct answer here. Because he has his routine down pat. Because he has his routine down pat, it means that he has everything perfect. He has everything perfect for him. Number 4, Andrew is the best speed skater I know. Last week he was in a competition and won first place. He was so good. He really what? So he won the competition and he was really good. So in other words, you can say, yes, very good. He really knocked their socks off. It means that he amazed them. He really knocked their socks off. Number 5, Don is an expert surfer. He has surfed all over the world, sometimes in extremely big waves. He knows he could drown or get attacked by sharks, but he's not scared. He has a lot of what? So he's bold. He's not afraid of sharks. He's not afraid of big waves. So you can say he has a lot of, that's correct, he has a lot of guts, which means that he is really courageous, he's bold, he will do anything, even surfing with sharks. Exercise I, page 111. We have a reading question here. Read the article and answer the questions. So we have 4 articles, as you can see here. So we'll be reading them, then we'll be answering the questions regarding this article. So let's see here the first 2 articles. The Boston Red Sox, the sales of Bambino. So let's listen to this reading article together.
The Boston Red Sox. Baseball, often called America's pastime, is considered by many to be the most popular sport in the U.S. One of the oldest and most famous baseball teams in the world is the Boston Red Sox. The club was founded in 1901, as one of 8 teams in the American League. They were a dominant team in the new league, winning their first World Series in 1903. They won 4 more championships by 1918. Since 1912, the Red Sox's home ballpark has been Fenway Park. The sale of the Bambino. While the first 17 years in Red Sox history were successful, after the 1918 win, they went into one of the longest championship droughts in baseball history. In 1919, Red Sox owner Frazee sold famous slugger Babe Ruth, who had played the previous 6 seasons for the Red Sox, to the rival New York Yankees. Even though Ruth had just broken the single-season home run record, hitting 29 in 1919, Frazee sold him. Legend has it that Frazee did so in order to finance a Broadway play. Many people said that they would lose for 100 years because they had sold Babe Ruth, who was also known as the Bambino.
So you can see the first 2 articles. They're talking about the Red Sox team, of course, the baseball team in America. The first one, the Boston Red Sox, the beginning and the establishment of the club here. And the second paragraph is talking about their best player and how did they sell him to their rivals, the New York Yankees? Of course, he was called the Bambino because the title here, the sale of the Bambino. So let's get to the other articles here. Evidence of the myth, ending the losing streak. Let's listen to them together.
Evidence of the myth. Over the years, the Red Sox had many excellent players, but nonetheless, they were never able to win the World Series. They came closest in 1986, when they lost the final game in extra innings because a slow ground ball rolled through the first baseman's legs. This infamous moment in baseball history fed the myth that the Red Sox were destined to lose for the rest of their career. Ending the losing streak. Finally, the losing streak ended in 2004, when the team won their 6th World Series championship. Since 2003, the Red Sox have competed in 5 American League Champion Series, have won 2 World Series in 2007 and 2013, and have emerged as arguably one of the most successful Major League Baseball teams of the last 2 decades.
So there was a myth, a legend, let's say, a myth, that the Red Sox, they will never win because they lost many tournaments, many championships, finals, and the ending of the losing streak at the end they won. Of course, the losing streak ended in 2004 when the team won their 6th World Series championship. Since 2003, the Red Sox have competed in 5 American League Champion Series, have won 2 World Series in 2007 and 2013, and have emerged as arguably one of the most successful Major League Baseball teams of the last 2 decades. So now that we have listened to the article, let's answer some questions about the article here. What is the name of the Red Sox home stadium? Their home stadium, the field that they play in their city, what is it called? Their home stadium? Yes, that's correct. It's called Fenway Park. The name of the Red Sox home stadium is Fenway Park. Number 2, how did the Red Sox do in the early years, in the beginnings, in the early years? How did they do? Did they win? Did they lose? Did they do really well or not? So let's see the correct answer here. They did well. They won the World Series 5 times. They did really well. So they won the World Series 5 times. What started the myth about the Red Sox? The myth, the legend, let's say, that they will be always losing. What started this myth? How did it begin? Let's see the correct answer here. Selling Babe Ruth to New York Yankees, their rivals, of course, the New York Yankees, started this myth. Selling Babe Ruth to the New York Yankees started the myth. How did they lose the 1986 World Series championship? How did they lose? This was a famous story in history, of course. How did they lose the 1986 championship? So let's see the correct answer here. The ball rolled through the first baseman's legs. So the ball rolled slowly through the baseman's legs, of course, which enforced this myth that they will never win. But of course, they eventually won. When did that losing streak finally end? When did the losing streak finally end? So when did it finally end? It ended in 2004. It finally ended 2004, and of course they won after that 2 or 3 times. So if you remember our previous lesson, the reading lesson, we took the reading strategy, timed reading, by giving you 2 minutes to read the whole article, never stopping to look up new words, then asking you some questions about the article, just to see how many information you can collect in these 2 minutes. And if you remember, the reading article was about the winter sports, and especially about Norway, a country born on skis. So we were talking about Norway. This is the country on a country born in skis. It's a small country with 5.5 million inhabitants, but it won more than 300 gold medal, and this is of course a milestone in the Winter Games of 2010. This is the article talking about the Norwegians, of course, and the sport of biathlon, which is skiing while shooting. So this is, for us, of course, it's a really strange sport. So jumping to today's lesson, the speaking, we have to list of information in a chart, name popular games in Saudi Arabia, collect information about popular sport. So first question here, work in pairs or groups. So you can discuss these questions with your colleague or friend. Name at least 2 Olympic medalists from Saudi Arabia. Which sports did they compete in? Are these sports popular in your country? So can you tell 1 or 2 or 3 Saudi Arabian athletes who won some medals? If you don't know, you can look it up right now and answer the question. Which sports did they compete in? Are these sports popular in your country? Number 2, research and collect information about popular sports in your country. Make notes in the chart, then use your notes to talk about the sports that you have chosen. Number 3, what is your opinion? Do you enjoy watching or participating in some of these sports? Why or why not? So let's jump to the chart here. The name of the sport, the first column. Is it individual or team sport? Is it individual, only 1 player, or is it a team sport? More than 1 player, 2, 3, 4, or maybe 11, just like football. How and where is it is played? What is the objective? Why is it popular? So you can fill this chart with any sport you choose. For example, I chose the first one, of course, is football, and we all know that it's a team sport and it's played on a pitch. They play on the football pitch, the field, of course. What's the objective? Of course, we know the objective throughout the match is to score goals, and the team who has more goals win the game. Why is it popular? You can come up with many reasons of why is football popular. Because it's exciting while watching, of course, you get really enthusiastic, you get really excited, you support your team, and so on. Even if you're not watching a game, if you're yourself playing football, it's really exciting to play, especially with your friends. The second sport is tennis, and it's individual, and of course, sometimes it's a team when they play 2 against 2, but most of the time it's individual. How and where is it played? Of course, it's in a tennis court. You know the tennis courts, whether it's grass, clay, or anything else. What is the objective? Just like football, to score more points. To score more points. They call it points, not goals. Why is it popular? Because it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch tennis games. The other sport here is swimming. It's individual. Of course, we know it takes place in a swimming pool. It takes place in a swimming pool. What's the objective? To finish first. It's a race. Who finishes first is the winner. Why is it possible? Why is it popular? Because it's really athletic. They have lots and lots of stamina. Also, basketball here. Of course, we all know basketball, that it's a team sport, and it's played on a basketball court, and the objective is to score points. The objective of the basketball is to score more points. Why is it popular? It's very competitive. Why is it popular? Of course, with all of these sports, you can come up with many reasons. But I came up with some of them, that the basketball is very competitive. And with that, we reach the end of this lesson. See you next lesson, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum.